Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Odin's movie blog. I am the critic who is a cynic, and joining me today, we have Julie from WishedUpon AVlog. Julie, how are you doing on this wonderful St. Patrick's Day?
Really well, thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me this morning. I'm really happy to be here, so thank you very much. I'm doing good.
Awesome, very good. Did you do anything special for this St. Patrick's Day?
Well, earlier on, my mum and dad picked me up, and my dad took us up to like a bar, pub, or whatever you want to call it, and we had some Guinness, but I don't normally drink. Sometimes like 2 or 3 times a year, but that's about it. And we had some Guinness, and then we got these buns in a shop that we found, and they were like supposed to be like St. Patrick's Day buns and stuff like that. And I've been watching some of the TV show. I don't know if you've ever heard of it before, but it's like a comedy with priests in it, and it's called Father Ted. Have you ever heard of it?
I not by name, but I may have actually seen a
It's so
poster for
funny.
it. Yeah.
Oh, you'd love it. It's hilarious. I'll have to send you the link.
Oh,
It's
please
so
do. Is
funny.
it a BBC show?
I'm trying to think. Actually, I think it was originally Channel 4. It's been out for so many years. But it's about priests basically that all sort of live together in this island, but the island doesn't even actually exist. It's called Craggy Island, but it's not real, and it's just absolutely crazy. And there's this girl in it, like a maid, and she always walks in and she's like, "Would you like some tea, Father?" And then they're like, "No, you're all right." And you're like, "Oh no, you will. Go on, go on, go on. You'll have some tea and all that." And it's just absolutely hilarious. You should try and look it up on YouTube.
Oh, I definitely will.
Really
So,
funny.
wait, are episodes available on YouTube?
Sorry.
Are episodes available
Um,
on YouTube?
I'm not sure if full episodes are available. I'll have to check, but you would definitely be able to get like clips to sort of get the sort of gist sort of thing to get the idea whether you
Okay.
would sort of like it or not.
All right. Very cool. By the way, everyone in the chat is loving your accent and are saying
That's what I find so funny because I think it
100%
sounds
Irish.
really bad.
They're like, yes, she is absolutely Odin's Irish sister. There's no question about it.
Really? Oh my gosh. I find that hilarious because when I listen to myself back, like on my YouTube videos, like not that I sit and watch my YouTube videos, that would sound ridiculous, but you know when you're editing your videos is what I'm trying to say. And I'm like, oh my gosh, is my accent that harsh? That sounds awful. I feel sorry for people that have to listen to that. But people
Trust
like
me,
it, so
for an American audience, like accents just sound awesome. And
uh,
it's one of those things where we know that we have accents to other people, but we just don't know
yeah.
what it sounds like. So when we hear, the UK, or for me, Ireland, just because again I am Irish and I've always just loved Irish culture. I've only been one time in my life when I was 16 and loved it. And it was just fantastic. But one of the things that I ever since that time, I was like, I want to live in Ireland, raise my kids in Ireland so that
Aw.
my kids can have these amazing accents because they are just awesome. So
It's funny because I've always said, like, when I hear people from America speaking, I always say to them, like, can I have your accent? Can we swap? Because I just think it is so cool. And I remember when I was younger, I learned like these two different things about, it's going to sound really random, but back years ago when you got a computer, you got like a disc with it, right?
mhm.
And it was like this encyclopedia disc. And it was all about these animals like dolphins or something. And this girl was speaking in an American accent. And still to this day, I can still remember almost word for word. And I used to practice it. And my mom was like, you sound American. And I used to go around telling everybody that I was American when I was younger.
Would they believe you? Were you able to convince them with the accent?
Not really, but they would ask me like do it or whatever, and I would do this whole speech about dolphins being intelligent and social and everything and communicating with each other, and they thought this was absolutely hilarious.
It's always fun to hear
Yeah.
people who are not of, like, for example, it was great to hear. I don't know if you've ever seen this video, but there was it must have been, I think it was an MTV show, and it was called
Mhm.
Talking American or something like that. And
Right?
they had the entire cast of Harry Potter read certain phrases with their best American accent. And it's just
Oh
so
my gosh,
funny because
that
some
would
of
be
them have
hilarious.
obviously never played a part where they've had to be an American before.
Yeah,
And so they're trying to like think of how an American would say certain words. And the
that's hilarious.
phrases they're saying are just fantastic. But the best one for me was Emma Watson at one point had to say Olive Garden. And she just couldn't. She was like, the Olive Garden. Like she's like she could not like figure out how to say it. But the best part about that is that, have you ever seen Perks of Being a Wallflower?
I haven't, no.
So it's a really good film. It's actually a really solid film. But in the movie, they give her the line saying, all right, we're going to go over to the Olive Garden. And they added that line specifically because of that interview she did where she couldn't say Olive Garden.
Oh, that is so mean. So how would you say it? Like, how would you say Olive Garden?
Just Olive Garden. Yeah.
But she found it really difficult to say in an American accent.
She just couldn't. Yeah, for some reason, she just couldn't get that name in the Olive. You know, she just couldn't get it in the accent. It was so funny.
Yeah.
And Tom Felton, who played Draco, by far had the best American accent out of all of them.
Yeah.
And it was great.
Oh, I must look that up.
Yeah. Oh, it's fantastic. At one point, too, at the very end, he like adds various things together. Like they make him say "booyah" and just other like common American phrases and such. It's really funny. I think that you and everyone else would probably really enjoy it.
Yeah. What does that even mean? I've heard of it, but I don't think we use that. Like booyah. What does that mean?
It just means like take that. Like booyah.
Oh, right.
Boom, you just got owned. Oh girl. Oh booyah. Like that's pretty much what it means.
Booyah. Oh gosh. It's so funny because I actually put up like a video on my channel of like Irish slang, and it was hilarious because people were writing to me like, Julie, you do realize that we use nearly all of these in America? And I'm like, really? I thought I literally just learned just a whole lesson. And everyone's like, no, we use nearly all of these words in America. Hilarious.
What is the most common Irish slang that you personally use on a daily basis?
Well, I thought that it was Irish slang, but it actually turns out that it isn't. The word "wee," like we use the word "wee" for if something's small or tiny.
Yeah.
Apparently, you use that as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's.
I thought, yeah.
We use it not necessarily to talk about being small, but we use it as a like, oh, that's way too bad. Oh, it's way too bad. Like sometimes we use it just for effect, I guess you could say. So how would y'all use it? How would you use it? Yeah.
We use it way too much. I probably say it about 1,000 times a day. For example, if I wanted to make a cup of tea for someone, I would say, would you like a wee cup of tea?
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
We. Oh, so we, not way.
Yeah, it's WEE.
Oh, we. Okay, yeah. Sorry, yeah. So once again, the pronunciation, like again, we hear things. Okay, yeah. We. Okay, yeah. We use that for small too. Then sorry, I was off on my own thing. Yeah, and everyone in the chat's like, yeah, everyone in the chat's like, we know what she was saying. Why the hell did you not understand what she was saying? Because Yivo's saying we, like Nintendo Wii, not way.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah.
Oh no, that's my fault. That's my Americanized mind's fault. So
you're all right. No, but I think it's hilarious because I honestly thought that was just an Irish thing. I didn't know that like people in America would use it as well. But I don't know if you would use it in the same sort of like, for example, if you were cutting a slice of cake, right, and it was a big slice of cake, would you say to me, "Do you want a wee bit of cake?"
Not initially.
Yeah.
No, me personally, I probably wouldn't because I love cake. So I probably would just say, "Give me more." So the opposite of we. But I know that just on a daily basis, I use the phrase, "Oh, just a wee bit." Oh, just a wee bit. And then sometimes I'll put on my really, what I'm sure is to Irish ears, an atrocious Irish accent where I'm like, "Oh yeah, just a wee bit."
Just a wee bit.
Just a wee bit, yes.
Top of the morning to you.
Top of the morning to you. Let me choose the most stereotypical phrases and just butcher it.
Have you ever heard of the word? Have you ever heard of calling someone a buck agit?
A buck. I've heard of agit before.
Agit.
Oh,
Yeah.
So this is not cursing, by the way, because this is Irish speak. So I've heard it is actually cursing, but I've heard the phrase like, "Oh, you're just a feckin' agit."
Yeah. Yeah, and that's okay because it doesn't really sound like the actual.
It doesn't exactly. Yeah. So I'm protected.
You can get away with it. You can get away with it in Asgard, yeah.
Oh, damn right.
But yeah, I mean, like, Buck Agent is basically just like he's a real head case sort of thing. Like that's a thing you don't say either. Head case, no.
Head case, yeah, we use head case.
Head case, you use head case. But yeah, Buck Agent is just like probably more than an agent, you know, like he's a real big agent sort of thing.
Oh, well, that's just awesome. Again, I love learning this stuff because as an American, you know, we just we have a lot of problems, and it's always great just to learn things that are not American, and it's just refreshing. And with that, yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead, please.
I actually learned something new on that video that I uploaded because I mentioned something and they thought it was me like letting people know one of the slang words, but I was just talking, and I was talking about skirting boards, and someone wrote, "What's a skirting board?" And they had to explain to me that it's called a mop board or something, like mop boards or something you call it.
A mop
like
board?
Around, you know the bottom of your floor, right? Where your carpet is, and then you have like wood that goes along at the bottom of the floor. Like, what do you call that?
Oh, so like on like the side?
Yeah.
Where it's more for like decoration? Oh,
yeah.
What do we call that? Because we call it something else. I'm not very good with architecture or anything really when it comes to things that are inside the house. I'm terrible at describing them, but I'm sure someone in the chat. Baseboard. There it is. We call it a baseboard.
Baseboard, yeah, because someone was like, yeah, baseboard and mop board or something, and I'm like, what? I thought it was just called skirting board everywhere. It's totally new to me. Skirting board.
Oh, that's interesting. And it's also mop board. I've never heard of mop board before either. That's interesting too.
Yeah, I don't actually know like where the person that commented was from, but they had said, no, Julie, it's a mop board.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Someone else is saying crown molding. I've heard that expression too. Crown molding.
Crown molding.
Yeah. Skirting board. Mr. Peabody, who's from Australia, says skirting board in Australia is what they call it. So very nice.
Okay.
Well, I wanted to start off just by asking you, because obviously, for those that do not know, you are a YouTuber, and you do some really great stuff covering movies and a variety of other topics. And I just wanted to ask you, what made you want to get started on YouTube, and how long have you been doing YouTube at this point?
I think I had actually made my channel last year around, I think I might have opened it in March, and then I think my first YouTube video was the beginning of April. And I think I sort of started off where I wanted to do Star Wars videos, but to be honest, I didn't know like how well they would take off for me, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I started doing like a couple of Disney videos, I think. And then I just thought, you know what, I really do have a big passion for Star Wars. So I thought I want to come on and like show my figurines and stuff like that, and sort of explain to people and sort of have a voice about how I sort of feel about Star Wars. And sort of, I don't really like agree at all with the direction that it's being sort of taken in lately, as a lot of people don't, with Ruin the Show Johnson and, you know, Kathleen Kennedy. But I just sort of wanted to come on and share my passion for Star Wars, and then I have a passion for Marvel as well. So it kind of just ended up, I didn't think I would have sort of did Marvel videos, but it ended up sort of being Star Wars, Marvel, and then movie reviews and stuff like that, because I am just obsessed with watching movies. Like, I just love going to cinema, is my favorite thing ever. So yeah, I just thought that I would make a channel and see what happens, basically.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you. I mean, when I started mine, I'd been wanting to do YouTube for a long time because I had been watching people like Chris Stuckman and Jeremy Johns and John Flickinger, and I was like, I love movies. I live at the theater. As you said, like, going to the cinema is one of my favorite things. There's just something that's magic about it. And I remember just going, some of my earliest memories of a kid, when I would just be able to escape into a world for, you know, 2 hours and be able to kind of live in another world for a bit and just escape any issues, any problems, any worries, any concerns. And that's the reason why I also became very passionate with this channel about trying to kind of call out this, you know, this politics that's been throwing into a lot of films recently, because it takes you out of it. You're just like, you're watching, you're trying to enjoy it, and then all of a sudden something happens. You're like, what? No, this is what's happening right now in the world. And I don't want to know what's going on right now in the world. I want to be able to escape to a new world, you know?
I mean, like, really, that's what movies should be. I mean, like, I remember when I used to go to cinema when I was younger, you know, as you say, like, and I remember the first time I seen Star Wars was The Phantom Menace, and I went and seen that in the cinema with my mum and dad. And, you know, like, I know some people may say, you know, even back then it was full of politics, but nowhere near, like, I'm sorry, nowhere near as much as, I mean, if you look at The Last Jedi, I mean, even Rogue One, some people, like, would disagree with me and say, like, how can you not like the film Rogue One? But to me, it was just too political to me. And to me, I want to go and see a movie And I completely agree with what you were saying with, you know, Alita Battle Angel, you know, that it was so refreshing to be able to go and sit and watch a movie that didn't have all that agenda driven nonsense. And I actually really was so happy when I came out of the cinema seeing Alita. I was like, yes, there was nothing in there that you could sort of say, oh, that could have been treated in this way or that way. And that's why so many people are so envious of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
No, absolutely. And that's why I'm glad that you brought up Alita, because the powerful thing with Alita is this is a movie that I had no interest in seeing at first, because I saw the trailer and I saw the eyes and I just immediately was like, nope, can't do it.
So many people were saying that was their issue, with the eyes.
Mm-hmm. And so all of a sudden, though, during my streams, it was Gannison, who's been on the streams a lot, who's now known, he calls himself Alita Troll, because apparently some people on Twitter started calling him that because he's obsessed with Alita. And so he's taking it as like a badge of honor. And I'm like, damn right, man, like go ahead and wear that name like that, because, you know, he was the one that was like pushing. He was saying, dude, Odin, you got to watch it. You got to watch it. There's no politics in it. It's going to be great. And so finally, after he and a couple other people were like, go see it, I was like, okay, fine, I'll go see it. So I saw it. I saw it in 3D. I saw it in, we have this thing called Dolby Cinema. Do y'all have any of those theaters over there?
I haven't actually heard of that, to be honest. Okay. No, but that's not to say that we don't now. That's not to say that we don't, but not that I know of.
Okay, yeah, it's really cool, because basically it uses a different type of projection system, where instead of it just being, you know, the digital projection on a screen, it uses some kind of laser technology. So what is normally black, the way that they try and show it beforehand, because, you know, with everything, it's all about promotion. So even when you're sitting in the theater, it's all, here's the difference between the Dolby and the regular screen and why your experience is better. And so they have like on one side, this is how normal people in normal theaters see black. This is what Dolby Vision is. And you can see there is a clear difference, because basically the way it works is that normally when the you know, the projector's on, there's a light that you can see. You can see that the light's on, but even when it's black, you know that there's a light on. With this, you don't see that. So it literally just looks black. And so that's because it has a richer contrast, richer colors and everything. So beautiful. The reason why I love it, though, is because it also has Dolby sound, and that's kind of the standard for sound. So it's surround sound. You're also in seats that have like the speakers almost built into them. So everything rumbles when it gets loud, and it's awesome. So that was my experience with Alita Battle Angel. And
I'm really jealous right now.
So add on top of that, the great story, great characters, everything else. And I just came out of that film floored. I was just like, oh my God, this was amazing. And that's why I became such a huge fan, and why I just pushed for it on almost every single video. I was like, guys, go see this movie. It's not getting money, and it really should.
You're literally Rosa Salazar's promoter.
Yeah, I felt like it for a bit. I was like, guys, I know I'm speaking about this nonstop, but seriously, I'm not just like, it's like, I'm not getting paid for this. I just like this movie that much.
You should have been paid. You should have like wrote to her and said, like, I'm your manager. You should see my YouTube videos. I need to get paid for this.
Oh man, I really should have. I should have taken advantage of that. But yeah. So getting into that, you know, with the love of the movie theaters, and just, you know, that being kind of the driving force that drove you to start the channel. You know, were there any people? Because I mentioned some people that inspired me. Were there any persons that you kind of looked up to, that inspired you, that kind of gave you that? Because you know how like that first video you make, you're like, you know, at least for me, I was nervous as hell. I was like, oh my God, I'm putting literally myself out there for people to criticize. And, you know, now it's like people say comments and they just, you know, I have tough skin now because it's been going on now for over a year. And it's just like, all right.
I know, you just have to learn to sort of,
And so that first video is just, so what kind of gave you that final push to put the first video out there?
I think, to be honest, I know it might sound a bit random because this person doesn't actually do Star Wars videos, but they are a Star Wars fan. But there's a guy, I don't know if you've heard of him, he's called Roberto Blake.
I have not.
Well, what he basically does is he, I think he studied graphic design and things like that. And he's just sort of done like a lot of like public speaking and things like that. And what he does is a lot of videos for YouTubers as well, to help YouTubers sort of inspire them and motivate them, and sort of helps you out with how to do your thumbnails, how to do your video descriptions and your titles and everything. But he just comes across as such a genuine, down-to-earth person. And to me, I just find his personality and everything, and how he does his videos, really inspiring. And I actually like wrote to him last week and personally thanked him, you know, because I feel like he did kind of inspire me to just go, look, just get the camera, sit down. And he always explains in his videos, you're better, doesn't matter what sort of camera you have, whether it's cheap or whatever, just sit down and start recording and just go, because if you don't do it now, you'll never do it. And I just went, you know what, this guy's right. This guy's on point here. I'm going to just get my camera and I'm just going to record. So
yeah,
pretty much.
That's awesome. And that's a great message too. And what was that channel name again?
Roberto Blake.
Roberto Blake. Okay, I'll have to check that out. And Valks, if y'all, I see that Steph and Tina are actually in here. And thanks to Steph and Tina for being in here, because they got tons of stuff going on. And they're able to come around. So huge shout out to them. If y'all can maybe post a link to that channel, so that way people can check out that inspiration as well. So yeah, that's awesome. And you know, as we said, like, you know, for me, I've mentioned this before, that it was kind of Jeremy's videos that pushed me, because I saw a dude that was speaking his mind and people were loving it. And I was like, oh wait, people actually like that. They don't just want someone to give you a by the numbers review. That's interesting. And so that was kind of like the last push I needed. And one of the first videos I made was actually, because I had been doing a podcast before then for about a month, a couple of months or so. And so I decided to film an episode. And that was like my first like official YouTube video, I guess. And then from there, I just started to film and play around with it. And it's just insane to look back and see, you know, how the channel was back then and where it is now, and the people along the way. And it's been fun. So like, how has the journey been for you overall, from like where you started to where you are now?
To be honest, I'm actually quite shocked, because I have like over 1,000 subscribers now, and they've been going really fast lately. And I just honestly find that amazing. And, you know, I also have, you know, you to thank, the likes of, you know, Josiah, the likes of Jeremy as well, because, you know, they have been, you know, yourself and Jeremy and everybody have been really supportive of me and my channel. And I find that absolutely amazing, because, you know, the likes of yourself and Jeremy are you know, obviously well known. And, you know, some people with that amount of subscribers would sort of not really want to help other people. And I think that is so amazing to see, and it's so lovely to see. And talking off Jeremy, I actually found his channel through my boyfriend, actually, because he had been watching his videos, you know, the way you can watch it on TV from your PlayStation. And he had been watching some of his videos, and I heard him talking about Star Wars. I think I first heard him talking about like Ryan Johnson and Kathleen Kennedy, and then I like straight away looked it up on my Mac, and I thought, this guy is really cool. Like, he's getting everything right here. Like, and I normally literally would agree with Jeremy like 98 to 99% of the time, because when it comes to Star Wars and things like that, like, he just says it as it is, and he just doesn't even care. You know, and then I find you from Jeremy's channel. So
yeah, and it's been really cool, and that's why like because when you were in the chat too, I noticed, because sometimes, you know, there's people in the chat, you know, just regular people just looking to talk, just looking to, you know, share stories, things like that. And then there's others that are, you know, people who are either starting their channels or have a channel. And so that's when I discovered that you had, you know, that you were actually, you know, producing content. And so I was able to look at it. I was like, oh, this is awesome. And I was like, not only that, but also it's one of those things where, and I mean, you can tell just by the way that people reacted initially, is that, especially with American audiences, the Irish accent, you have no like, seriously, is a powerful thing. And so like the whole time I'm like, not only is the content great, but also I love listening to this accent. And so it's just like more reasons to watch the videos and support it, because it's just like, this is just great, because the content's there, the presentation's there. And as everyone's seeing, hopefully from this, who maybe have not subscribed, seriously, if you have not subscribed to her, what are you waiting for?
Oh,
like,
thank you so much. Like, honestly, see everything you're saying. Like, I am so appreciative, but not only that, like, I don't understand, because like whenever I first started YouTube, I thought to myself, you know what? Like, I know I have confidence and stuff like that, and I know I can talk in front of the camera, but I thought to myself, like, with my accent, I don't know, like, is worldwide this going to work? You know, because when I listen to my accent, it doesn't sound that bad. But when I record and edit it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't put this on the... Honestly, I'm not lying. See, the first video, I wasn't even going to upload it to my YouTube channel, because I thought, like, listen to the state of my voice. Like, I can't upload this. I cannot upload this to the worldwide internet. And I did it. And then I go to myself now, like, well, okay.
Yeah. People
are constantly leaving me comments. But you know what my most asked question of all time is on my videos?
What's that?
Are you Scottish? It's literally my most asked question.
Oh, no. See, I heard the accent and immediately I was like, oh, she's Irish. Because, as I said, like, if you're more aware of it, then I guess like you can tell the differences between them.
Notice.
But I suppose if it's just someone who doesn't know anything and they just think everything, you know, like that kind of person to me, the one who's just like, oh, you Scottish, are the same person that thinks anything is just the total opposite of what they expect. Like they're the same person that like will hear, or like they'll go see an anime, for example, and they'll hear the language and they'll say, oh, what is this? Some Chinese product or something like that. And it's like, oh yeah, you're one of those people that thinks everything is just the opposite of what it actually is.
It is honestly hilarious. Honestly, if I had to count, it's probably about 8 comments a day throughout different videos, and they'll say, I recognize it's the same accent from the movie Braveheart. Have you seen the movie Braveheart, by the way?
I have seen it.
Yeah, and they'll say it's the same accent from Braveheart, or there's a Disney movie called Brave, and they'll say
that's
you have the same accent as Brave, and you're like,
yeah,
no, but I don't mind it. Like, I mean, Scotland's beautiful, like nothing against that, right? But it's just like, it's okay 10, 20, 30 times, but when it's all day, every day, it's like, no, the same question.
It's like, this is not my identity. This is not where I'm from. What are you doing?
It's so funny though. But it's not even like they ask it in a different way. It's like you always get you have the same accent as that girl from Disney Brave, or can I ask, are you Scottish or Irish, or are you Scottish? It's the same 3, 4 sort of questions. It's so funny.
Well, you know what? I think you got to take this in stride though, because I think it's better to get a comment asking or questioning your accent rather than the comments that I get in my videos where it's like, oh, you're just an incel. Oh, you're just a troll living in your mom's basement.
Is this a new thing, this incel thing? Because like
it's been around for a while. Because it is actually based off of like a choice. Like there's actually a incel community of people that choose not to engage in relationships. Like it is an actual real thing, and it's also a way that people troll others and just say, oh, you're just an incel, meaning, oh, no one would ever get into a relationship with you. Basically, it's a very, you know, a nasty way of putting down.
It's not nice.
Yeah, it's not nice. Oh, no. It's not nice at all. It is basically just trying to tear people down, you know, and it's really also sad because there are people that choose this life. And so the people that use it as an insult are basically saying that the people that do live this incel lifestyle are there by force, not by choice.
Oh, right.
And so it's just a very, So, but you know what? Hey, again, I would much rather be someone saying, oh, what are you, from the South or something? Oh, what are you, from New Jersey? Are you from like, I'd rather someone say that than, you know, something worse. But anyway, we've been getting a lot of people have been wanting a lot of questions because obviously they're very interested in what you have to say, and everyone's loving everything that you're saying so far. And also, I just want to say too, it's really great to have a back and forth when there's someone on the other side that just is confident in what they're saying, and it's great to just not have dead air, basically. So you're doing a great job, by the way. And also, for people that don't know, I had this, I think, in the title or the description. This is her first live stream ever in history, and I think she's doing a great job. So let's give it up for her in the chat, everybody, because seriously, you're doing awesome right now. All right, let's see. Super chat says, let's see, Jake Munoz, thank you very much for the super chat. Says, Odin, you're not wearing green. We're going to have to pinch you. Yes. Oh
my gosh, neither am I.
You're safe, though. You're Irish. You're protected. See, I only have a little bit in me. I can only do so much.
Do you know what, Odin? I actually have, like, a fleece hoodie thing over in the corner, and it's like an Ireland, it says Ireland on it, right?
Yeah.
My boyfriend got me it years ago, and it's green and grey. I should have wore that.
Oh man, seriously.
This is a disgrace. Like, really, we're doing really bad at this.
Oh, we are. Seriously, like you from Ireland, me, wish that I was more than 30% Irish. I mean, God, we're letting our people down.
I am so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry, guys. If it helps, I am actually literally colorblind. But I mean, I did know this was pink, to be fair. But yeah, I apologize in advance.
I'm wearing green in my heart. Let me try and see. No green elsewhere. So I'm doing the best that I can, though. And yes, I guess I will have to be pinched after all. Thanks, Jake, for the super chat.
You're going to lose subscribers now.
I know, definitely. Right? By the way, if you look at the chat right now, everyone's giving a giant round of applause to you for your first live stream.
Thank you.
Go and enjoy that for sure. Let's see. The Price is Right review. Thank you for the super chat. Says, "Yo, Odin in the hood. Sup, my man. Last night's stream was fun. Yo, Norse homie, where's your green, bruh? By the way, just sub to Julie." Well, thank you for subbing to Julie's channel.
Oh, thank you so much.
Were you watching the Geeks and Gamers stream last night by chance?
By chance, I actually think I landed in at the wrong time. What on earth were you guys talking about?
So the one that he's referencing about Odin into Hood, there was this guy that had basically called out Jeremy and had said he wants him to, like, to fly to California and like have like a live stream debate or something. But he's like the whitest dude ever. But he is like putting on this like, oh, I'm from the streets. And I'm like, so basically we're watching it and he's got, you know, this flat cap on. He's got a hood up and everything, like basically just like white boy trying to act like from the streets. And so eventually I think I may have been the one that started off. I decided like, hey, you know what? I'm going to put my hat and put my hood on. And I was just starting to rock back and forth. And every time that he would say something stupid, I'd be like, oh yeah, from the streets. Yeah. Oh. And so then eventually, like, I just stayed in character with it. So that's what the whole.
Did you do that? How long did you do that for? Because I couldn't stay for the whole entire chat because, as you know, I'm like 5 hours ahead. And see, every like honestly, most nights when I go to bed with a cup of tea, it's like Odin's going on live now. Why did he go on so late? Because it's like for me, I'm like it's nearly 1 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, I know. I know. That's why I always feel bad.
But at the same time, I'm like, it's so late.
I know. And I always feel so bad because I actually have a patron, Jeffrey Toon, who's from the UK. And I feel so bad because he can almost never watch the streams because they're always at 6:30 our time, my time, which means it's, you know, 11, 12 midnight where y'all are. And so, you know, he's asleep and I feel so bad. But it's like, I can't physically do it any earlier because I'm teaching until 2:45 and then I do a video and everything. And I try and do the earlier streams when I can. So I know there's a bunch of people here probably from the UK in that region right now who are like, thank God Odin is on at a reasonable hour.
See, you saying that, you see, before we went live, I had come on and checked the chat and someone had actually said something about being earlier, something like that there, cool beans or something.
Yeah. No, seriously, because there are people. It's interesting because I've got contingencies of subscribers. You know, I've got my American contingency, which is strong, but then I've also got, I would say, a really, really passionate, strong Australian fan base, like Peabody, Perth Comics, and a couple others who are just like awesome. And for them, because they are just so far away, it's like when I'm on, it's the morning for them, so they can actually make it work. So instead of it being a night stream for them, it's like, oh, well, top of the morning to you. Welcome. You know, it's great to have
Top of the morning
to you, Odin. Great to have you in the stream. And then the UK's unfortunately are the ones that are like, oh, it's so late. I wish I could stay, but I can't. I feel so bad because everyone in Europe and, you know, UK, Ireland, I'm just like, I wish that I could do earlier streams, but sadly.
Don't worry, to be fair, most people in Ireland anyway will probably be at the pub and they're like drinking Guinness somewhere.
So is that a true stereotype? Is that a true is that factual?
Yeah, like it seems to be Guinness, Like, I need a pint of Guinness.
I see. I've mentioned this before, but I'm straight edge. So I don't drink, I don't smoke or anything. But in my life I've tried Guinness one time and I don't know how people do it. It's just so bitter. And I know that it's acquired taste, but
it is quite strong. But a funny story, if you're interested, it's random. The reason I kind of got into Guinness wasn't because just like I wanted to drink it. It was because I went to the doctor's, right, and he said you're low in iron, and my mum told me, she says it might be an old myth, but apparently you can get iron from, because, you know, like potatoes or whatever, and the Guinness. So I was like, right, okay. So I started going and getting like 4 packs of Guinness. I'm drinking it with my dinner with like lots of like vegetables and cabbage and everything, you know, to try and, you know, build the iron level up sort of thing. That is so rad.
That's amazing. I never knew that before. So guys, if any of you have iron issues, any blood donors out there, if your hemoglobin is low, drink Guinness, apparently. That's awesome. That's
apparently.
And everyone's saying, wait, what was that?
I'm not promising it's actually going to give people energy, but, you know. It might. You could give it a try. I mean, give it a try and see what happens. What's the worst that could happen?
I know. There's people saying it's not a myth. It's real. Shawhan says yes, iron. Peabody says yes, high in iron. And then, of course, you've got the great PlayStation exclusive says, good excuse to drink.
Yeah, get that iron. Get that iron.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But anyway, so yeah, that was, so yeah, the stream was crazy last night, and we went on to like 1,000 different topics. But yeah, so Odin in the Streets was born, and they were parody accounts immediately created after, and it was hilarious. So
I think I came in at a bad time because when I came in, you were talking for about 15 minutes, and I think Jeremy was talking about the whole t-shirt burning coincidence.
Yeah.
And then after that, you started talking about something really random, and Jesse, I don't know who brought it up, and then I had wrote a comment saying something like, I think Jesse has the chart. So I think you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, yes. Oh my God,
like,
yes. And seriously, like,
have these guys been drinking Guinness or something?
I know, right? And no, the only reason why, because I was just like, what are we talking? Like, seriously, why is it keep coming up? But then, like, I couldn't stop, and I was just like, but when you think about it, why do we keep saying this as an expression? In all honesty, what is going on? So yeah, so that got a big reaction from a lot of people, and I was just like, everyone was like, this is hilarious, and I'm like, I actually was just asking an honest question, like, where the hell do we get this average from?
Yeah. But what was funny was Jeremy just was kind of like, I think a couple of people had wrote in the chat, you know, what are you talking about or something?
Yeah.
And then Jeremy closed it down. He was just like, yeah, I think we'll start looking at the comments here, super chats.
Yeah, I know, seriously. Oh man, but it was a fun stream, and I'm sad that because I serve at Mass in the mornings, and the people on my channel know I'm an altar server at Mass, and so I get up for 8 a.m. Mass, and so I'm normally up at 7, and so I was up until like midnight last night, so I maybe got a good 5.5 hours, maybe 5.5 hours. So yeah, I was nice and awake, but it was so worth it. It really was. It was so much fun.
Like how long does his crazy lives actually last? Because there's times, right, where like some nights I'll just say, oh, you know what? I'm not that tired. I'll watch on for another 15, 20 minutes. And then you'll maybe like check your phone again and you'll go, oh my goodness, they're still live. Like how long has he been on live? It seems like he's been on live for hours.
He's actually probably one of the more consistent, where his typical stream, if it's planned, is about maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours. And last night's stream was like the long one because it was the weekend. We started talking about one thing, moved on, and then we all of a sudden had a panel of like 7 people. And so it was like well over 3 hour stream. Like I was on at hour 3 by the time I left. So yeah, it was just, yeah, it was a crazy stream. But normally he's pretty consistent. Now, if you go to people like, you've heard of Doomcock?
I don't know. What sort of like videos do they do? Star Wars or?
He's Star Trek. He's more Star Trek, Orville.
I actually haven't.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, everyone in the chat's gonna be like, "What? You've never heard of Lord Doomcock?"
Sorry. You'll have to send me the link.
All right, we'll do. He's awesome because he has basically his thing is for his videos. He has a voice changer. And he's got like this helmet and suit that he wears, so he never shows his face. And
wait! I think I do. I think. Hold on, I think I'm subscribed to him. Does he like? Wait! Right, hear me out. Right, no judgment. Right. So, does he do videos right where he'll bring up like a video of something and then he'll make fun of it and talk in an accent, and he has like a black helmet thing on?
No, I don't think no, because his helmet's not black, it's more golden, and he's got like a full like suit like thing, and he's known for, the reason why I brought him up there was because his live streams are insane. He'll go for 5-6 hours.
Okay, Tina just sent me the link. I haven't been on this channel before, but I am going to check it out as soon as we finish this live stream.
Awesome.
So apologies in advance, guys. I am so sorry. I have never heard of this channel before.
Yep, and that's why you're hearing the people saying like, "All hail Doomcock, all hail Lord Doomcock," because seriously, that's like his big thing, and everyone says it in the chats. You know, hail Doomcock, etc. Yeah. And he's just got, great name for the channel, I would say. And he's just
I've been living under a rock then. Sorry.
Oh no, it's no problem at all. He's definitely someone that a lot of people know about, but I think there's also a large group that probably just don't, because he has never crossed over too much into Star Wars territory. And when you talk about like Phantom Menace channels, most of us talk more, you know, have a lot of Star Wars content, MCU content. He is more so focused on things like Star Trek. And
Star
so
Trek, yeah.
he's kind of like, you know who Mecha Random is? Mecha Random 42?
I do, yeah. I actually subscribed to her
So
recently.
yeah. So she is a mod for Doomcock, and she actually was named Mecha Random by Doomcock. And so there's a connection there because she's also, as you know from her channel, she's a big Star Trek person too.
Yeah,
she covers a lot of other things. She's expanded a lot more recently. Doomcock is a lot more kind of, you know, focused on certain subjects rather than like spanning off. But yeah, 6 to 8 hours sometimes, says Spartan Jeremy. He'll go off on these live streams, which are just
how does he eat? Like, I would be really hungry. I would wanna eat a piece of cake or have a bar of chocolate or something, like,
or use the bathroom. I mean, Lord.
Yeah, like how do you need to go to the toilet? You gotta drink, you gotta go to the toilet, you gotta eat.
I know, seriously.
How does that even realistically work?
It's a great question. That's why I'm like, I can do
That's
like
a question I need to know the answer to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, if it was me, because of my setup, I would just put the be right back screen up and then take care of it and then come back and then leave it like that. I'm sure he might do something similar where he'll be right. I don't know. I've never watched all of his live streams just because they are just so long, and it's already hard enough to follow all the channels that I follow anyway. But anyway, we got
that is a good
yeah. Let's see. We got a couple more super chats. Raymond Hengel, thank you very much for the super chat, says, if it's cool, can you pull up how much Rogue One made in China versus The Last Jedi? Which was more? Also, is it just me, or is Alita still making money, like 10 million? It is still making money. So to answer that second question, it is still making money. It'll probably cross 400 million by next weekend. So, which is good. The closer it can get to 430, the better it'll be. And I think it'll make up that extra 25, whatever it ends up being, final number that it needs to make up in Blu-ray DVD sales. And as far as the first question, Rogue One did indeed make more than The Last Jedi in China. So I don't even have to look that up because I already know that stat, because when I saw it, I was like, yeah, that's how much The Last Jedi was rejected by a lot of people.
It makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, The Last Jedi, keep in mind, Rogue One had a normal 4-week run, because that's in China, the way it normally works is that movies are given a 4-week window. And so sometimes they're given extensions. Alita was given an extension. It's actually going to be there through April. So that just shows you how well it was doing on the day-to-day. Last Jedi actually got pulled from theaters after 3 weeks because it wasn't doing very well. And Solo, I don't even think it made it to week 2 because of how poorly that film did. So Solo is definitely the lowest grossing. Second lowest grossing is The Last Jedi, though, not Rogue One. So hopefully
Can I ask?
Yeah, go ahead.
Did you think that Solo was worse than The Last Jedi?
It depends on in what category. I mean, if you were going to ask me right now which one would I watch again, it'd be Solo.
Yeah.
But I think that there are certain things that Solo, like for example, like when I crap on Solo or even Last Jedi, which of course is easy to do, I focus mostly on Rian Johnson and the writing and the characters.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to go after, for example, the visual effects team. I'm not going to go after them because are there a couple of scenes, like especially Canto Bite, when they're escaping on the horses? Yeah. That looks awful. Like when they're riding that looks awful. But then I also look to the hyperspace ram, which canonically, the way it's written sucks because it breaks canon and is one of the worst decisions ever made. But I can't deny that it looks gorgeous and that it's beautiful to look at. And then on the same side, you've got, so I try and look at it. That's why I just, on the website that I have now, I've tried to make an objective scorecard, essentially. So it's like 10 categories: acting, editing, etc. And it's because there are certain things in any movie, even if you hate a movie, there are categories that are going to be good. Like I can look at Captain Marvel and say, you know what? At the end of the day, there are certain categories that I'm going to check off as being well done, because I think the sound design was great. I thought that, you know, production design was pretty good too. So it's like, I'm not going to crap all over those categories. And so that automatically makes the score higher than what it normally would be. And it's getting a more honest score in the end, because people are not just saying, okay, how am I going to grade this one movie? Instead, they're like, okay, there are 10 aspects to the film. Let me think about it. Okay, here's how I feel about each one. Here's the final score out of 100. Okay, maybe I didn't hate this film as much as I thought, you know? So.
Absolutely.
That's a good question, Raymond. Good question. Evan Purcell, welcome to the channel. Harold Hughesby, thank you for the super chat, says, great interview. Love Julie's accent. Told you. Told you. Either of you...
So funny to me.
Either of you follow Six Nations. Wales is killing it. I do not know Six Nations.
Neither do I. I'm sorry.
Oh, the silly Welsh, I guess. Damajanai, thank you for the super chat, says, happy Pat's Day. Not wearing green either. No worries. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. No, seriously, we're already not doing a very good job on this St. Patrick's Day stream by not wearing green. However, I will say, got the flat cap on. All right, so I'm repping a little bit there, and of course we have Julie. And so for those maybe who just joining us right now, we have Julie from WishedUpon AVlog. And she is awesome. She is a YouTuber. She covers movies and various other topics of the pop culture, and she's awesome. And of course, she is my Irish sister, and she is wonderful. So thank you again for being on the stream. It's already fun.
Oh, thank you so much. And thank you so much to everybody who has been subscribing to my channel and saying that they like my accent. I am more than willing to swap my accent with anyone. Literally.
And also for anyone that might be wondering, so she mentioned earlier that she's at like 1,300 subs, right?
It's 1,300 and something. I know that. It's 1,300 and something.
And so the big thing that she now needs to be able to do, because of course YouTube is just, you know, the thing that it is, she needs to be able to reach one more milestone, which is watch hours. So if any of you guys, so going over to subscribe to her, that's awesome. But if you can maybe watch some of her videos, get some of her videos maybe queued up, that would really help out a lot. Because if we can get her hours up to that 4,000 mark, we can get her to that monetization. And then from there, it just, people wonder, like, why is monetization such a big thing? It's not just like I'm getting money. It's once you're monetized, it really does change the game. Like, seriously,
yeah,
you're able to reach more people. It's just, there's something built into YouTube's stupid algorithm that monetization leads to just a lot easier to get to more people, more, recommended videos, etc. So let's help her out, guys.
Oh, thank you. Has like YouTube changed though within the years? Because I didn't know that. Has it always been that you have to have like so many subscribers and so much watch time to become like monetized, or has that only recently changed? Because I didn't know.
Yeah, it changed, I want to say, over the last 2-3 years. It used to be if you got like lifetime views, I want to say 10,000 was the number maybe. So if you were able to get 10,000 views lifetime on all your videos together, you would be eligible for monetization. The problem is that they had a bunch of people who were ripping off other people's content, putting it out as their own, and then getting all the views from the content and then getting monetized, etc. And so they thought, oh, let's stop this. Yeah. But then they also were like, let's also let this be as an option to maybe silence some voices, make it harder for smaller channels to get started. And that's when they implemented the stupid 1,000 subs, 4,000 watch hours nonsense. So it wasn't always that way, but for the past couple years or so it has been, which is why it's harder to grow. And that's why, for me, I would not have had any of the success that I've had, if you want to call it that, unless Jeremy had, reached out to me and supported me and helped me out. And that's why for me now, it's like I'm nowhere near where Jeremy is, but I'm definitely, one of the bigger of the smaller channels. And so that's why any chance I have, once I'm at about 15,000 or so, almost to 16. And so if I'm able to do anything, just even with like my smaller channel compared to, again, the giants of, world-class BSers and Ethan Man Skyver and Geeks and Gamers and everything, if I'm able to do anything to help people out, that's, that's something that I would love to do. That's why you start on the weekends, especially, you see me just jumping on random streams because I'm just like anything that I can do to help out, to do anything I can. So, and especially when it comes to channels that I watch and that I really like and I really think have a very, a good future ahead of them, I want to try and be able to highlight those channels. And I think that you definitely fit that bill because I think that your content's really good and your presentation's very good. And I think that a lot of the people here who are subscribing to you are going to figure that out for themselves and are going to help you get those watch hours up. And also, Frank's been wanting me to add. So Frank the Tank and the Shaw and Wiener Dog clan, who's one of our mods. And for those that don't know, so Frank is a dachshund. And so Frank's clan has 26 wiener dogs. And so Frank's been wanting me to let you know that there are 26 wiener dogs that have been watching you this entire stream, and that they are going to help you get to that 4,000 watch hours, because what Frank, who Adam Shawhan, who's one of my subs, he and also a patron, he owns Frank and all the dogs. So what he does is to calm them down. What he does is he puts on videos for them to watch.
Oh my gosh!
And so, and so he means it when he says he'll help you get to 4,000, because he'll just put up a queue of your videos so that way that the dogs can watch, throughout the night to keep them calm. So,
and if each of those dogs have a phone as well, times that by 26.
That's
just
next.
Just go onto a playlist, go onto like one of my playlists, and then each dog's phone sits beside each dog, and then there you get 26 dogs, 26 phones. I like it.
Now that would be
Very
something.
cool.
Get some dog phones and get all of them a channel. They can all subscribe, and then, everything.
That'd be cool.
All right, so get into some of the chat too, because I said I told Sticky V that I would. Sticky V's comment I'll read first. He says, "Please ask Julie to sing a bit of Scarborough Fair."
Oh my gosh!
And that is totally up to you. I am not going to hold you to it, but that that was a request from Sticky V. So
I think somebody maybe knows that I sing.
I bet they watch your channel and have heard you sing.
Yeah.
So
I don't think that I should.
Okay. All right.
But
well,
apologies.
Now like Frank saying Odin should sing as well, and now we're gonna have a bunch of people saying sing. But we'll get to another one. We'll let you think that over. Get maybe warmed up a little bit before actually singing something. Yeah, Harold's like, Julie has to sing now. Julie has a wonderful voice. Duet, sing. Just wanted to know how she would react. Fantastic is what Sticky V says. Let's see. Vladdy777, is she literally Odin's sister? No.
Yeah, I got a comment on one of my videos, because like sometimes on Twitter, like for a joke, I'll say like, do you like your Irish sis or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
And then on your videos as well, and then I got a comment on one of my videos saying, "Oh my gosh, it's so cool that you are the sister of Odin's movie vlog." I'm like, I'm not actually. And then they're like, "But are you his Asgardian sister?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm his Asgardian sister."
Yes, we need to be very clear.
Yeah, we need to be clear. It's a joke. We're not actually related.
Oh man, it's so funny though, because you'll say because people say that stuff like about just like people like in general will say like, oh yeah, she's my sister. Oh yeah, he's my brother. And like most of the time people understand it, but then there's the others that just like for a second are like, wait, but are they really related? Wait, like, but are they? I don't know. Is it polite to ask? I don't know. And so there'll people that will like just believe it and say, oh yeah, they're related.
Yeah.
Let's see. Aiden Vickery says the Six Nations is rugby: England, Wales, Scotland, Ireland, France, and Italy. So do you watch any rugby?
I don't actually know. I'm sorry, I don't. I don't watch rugby. I'm not really a sports person at all, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I used to watch Madrid, and I've been to Madrid, and I've been in the stadium, which was pretty awesome. And I got to see where Ronaldo's seat would have been, where he could sit in, and again, like these fancy leather seats that they can sit in when they're not playing.
Oh wow!
But aside that, like I'm not really. I used to watch a lot of tennis when I was younger.
Mm-hmm. Who was your favorite tennis player?
Honestly, I can't even really remember anybody because it was that long ago. It was like, you're talking when I was like 7 or 8. I used to just sit for hours and watch tennis, and my mom's like, "Are you still watching tennis?" And like ice skaters and stuff like that. I used to watch a lot of ice skating and things like that. But I wouldn't really watch like football or rugby or any of that sort of thing.
Yeah, I hear that. Yeah, I'm sometimes into sports. It depends on what it is. I'm a baseball fan more so than anything else. Red Sox all the way. I follow their season.
It's really big over in America.
It's America's pastime. And it's so funny to get into debates with football fans, though, because they're like, yeah, but football is really the American sport because no one watches baseball anymore. And then I say, yeah, go up to, to Fenway Park or Wrigley Field and tell those people who are selling that stadium out like almost every single time that it's done. Let's see. G Monkey says, Odin and Julie, I'll binge watch as soon as the stream is over. All right. Well, thank you, G Monkey, for going over to binge watch the videos on Julie's channel. Shawhan says that he and Frank will get those hours up for you. Thank you very much.
You.
Let's see. The Real Comic Stack says, OMB Vlog, thanks for stopping by our small stream earlier today. Really cool of you. No problem, man. It was a lot of fun. Sorry I had to step out for a little bit and that it was over when I came back. But it was fun being in there for sure. And let's see, Zenwater says, I had a cousin who convinced some teenagers that she and a black lady were sisters and from Ireland. Whoa, that's like double.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
Oh man, that's like a double thing though. Not just that you were related to someone who looks completely different than you do, but also from Ireland. I love that extra bit there, Zen.
I think if I grew a beard, it might sound more realistic to people. Like people will then literally say that I am your sister. If I grow, like the Odin beard, no.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. If you grow the beard, or if I go clean shaven, at that point we could definitely convince some people.
Yeah,
and demonic Bioman says, lose the beard so we can determine the resemblance. It's like, yeah. So you tell us that you're not related, but we don't believe you. So we need you to prove it to us.
Here we trying to fill. Here we trying to fill. we are actually, guys. We are actually brother and sister. This whole thing has been a joke.
It's been a ruse.
Up to now. It's been an early April Fool's joke. We are actually related. Basically, we didn't really get on when we were younger. We had this big massive fight, and then Odin was like, you know what, Julie, I'm going to move to another country, and basically we just talk online now. So that's how.
And I would have gone with the we were born as twins and separated at birth, and I got sent to America, and she was raised in Ireland, and so we are we finally found the lost the lost brother sisterhood by YouTube, and all of a sudden being like, wait a minute, you're just like me. Your story was better though, so.
No, we need the time stone and then erase what I said, and then let everybody believe what you said, because it sounds more believable, because we do look so alike. It's actually uncanny. We do look so alike.
It is, but that's just the thing, because like all right. Full disclosure, I am Irish. Like, I'm not just lying when I say that. I am like 30%. And
this guy is lying. This guy is not. No, I'm joking.
I have red in the beard, and I have extremely fair skin that burns very easily, and that's where people see, oh yeah, you're definitely Irish, because they're like, you're too white. You're just too white to not be, and yeah, it's fun. But Sticky V also wanted to ask you, how does it feel, Julie, that you are speaking with right now 102 people watching?
Wow, wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. You have made me more nervous now, though, because I actually literally never even was obviously, I know there's a lot of people on, but I'm really nervous, although it might not seem like it. So when now someone's saying there's 103 people, that's
all right. Well,
crazy.
Don't worry. It's 90. It's 97 now, so you're fine. You're doing okay. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I cleared the room.
But no, you are absolutely. You are rocking it right now, and hopefully we can get those watch hours up. I tell you. I
actually have something that I was going to show.
Oh,
I don't know what way it's going to work, right? Because I don't know what way this Mac camera is. But I'm going to show you something, and my mum is moving house, right? Well, she's hoping to, and she brought some, stuff up in boxes. I know how you just open boxes and you're like, wow, what a blast from the past. And you're going to find this funny. And guys, in case you didn't know, Odin is a big wrestling fan. Now, you can let me know if you recognize any of these.
Oh my God, DDP. Yes. Oh no, that's not DDP. Sorry, that was the Undertaker. At first, it wasn't until the ponytail, because the
ponytail. Yeah, it
Undertaker.
says on the back, "A decade of destruction," and then here's another one. Can you see it?
Let's see. I can see it. Let me try and make the image bigger for everyone else. Is that Stone Cold?
It is.
That's a terrible
Stone
face.
Cold Steve Austin.
That's a terrible rendition. Oh my goodness.
You have to remember, Odin, your sister is old. So when these were bought for me, I was young.
I'm no spring chicken either, sis. I mean, what are you talking about? Oh, who is that? Who is that?
He's trying to copy your beard.
He is, and doing it very poorly. Oh, I can't. Is that Edge?
It's Y2J, but like their faces are so bad.
Yeah, I was like, because I was looking at them like, I know wrestlers. I've been watching since I was 10 years old, and these are the worst designs I've seen.
I can't believe I'm actually doing this.
Sick Boy said it looks like the guy from Nickelback, and it totally does.
Oh my god, it actually does. It actually does.
Look at this fellow in the crowd. Yes, that dude.
Oh my god, I'm gonna cry laughing. I can't even hold it still. Stop making me laugh.
There's Y2J. All right. Oh my goodness.
There's one more. Do you remember? Right? Do you remember?
Wait, no, that was Triple H.
It was. Do you remember the Hardy Boys?
Oh my god, this is just these designs. Yes, I remember the Hardy Boys. Yeah.
Right. Well, do you remember the girl Lita? Was that like one of their girlfriends, or was that?
That was Matt Hardy's. Yeah, so it was Matt Hardy's girlfriend, and then that's what led to the storyline where Edge started to date her.
Oh yeah.
And that was actually a real life storyline. In real life, they broke up, and Edge dated her, so they brought it into the actual story. And oh yeah.
Oh
yeah.
You've made me feel really old now, because I actually remember now, but like.
Oh my god. To be fair, that might actually be the best like facial representation of any of the characters so far.
You see, I'll show you up close on our t-shirt, on our tank top, or whatever you call it. Yeah. There's like a picture of both of them, the Hardy Boys and Lita.
Let's see. Oh yeah, look at that.
And I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that she kept all of those in a box. It's just hilarious to me. I was obsessed with it when I was like 13, 14. I used to watch it every weekend, and all like the cage fights and all with the Undertaker and everything.
Yes.
But it's been so long since I've watched wrestling.
I still watch. It's like I hate watch it now because it's gotten so bad. I mean, the Attitude Era, you know, the 90s, early 2000s, that was the best age of the WWE wrestling. And it's just gotten so bad since then. And
what's it like now? Is it just like really cringy and embarrassing? And, like,
yeah. So basically, Raw is now 3 hours, and 2/3 of it is talking and exposition. And
that's
maybe about an hour of it is wrestling or so. Not good.
That sounds lazy, actually. Yeah. Like, yeah, we'll just have people talking for that length of time.
Yeah, that's why they started a new product called NXT. Have you ever heard of that?
I haven't, no.
So NXT is a network exclusive. So they've also launched their own WWE network, which is similar to a Netflix or Hulu, but it's all wrestling. So you can literally see any WCW, WWF, like from the 90s. You can see any episode of Raw, of SmackDown, of anything. Pay-per-views too. It's great, especially for wrestling fans. It's awesome. But they also have original content, and one of it is NXT, which is their own developmental brand. And so, but it's actually become a third brand in and of itself. And so it actually has some of the best wrestling, I would say, of anything else. Yeah.
I was so obsessed with it, honestly. Like, and luckily, pardon me, my sister was into it as well, and her boyfriend. So every weekend, that was the only channel that was on. We would just sit every Saturday and Sunday and watch it. And did you have a thing over in America where, like, I can't remember the name of it, but it was basically like professional wrestlers, for example, like Triple H or Stone Cold Steve Austin or whatever, and it was a separate program, and they would train up like people who wanted to become wrestlers. Like, did you have that as well? Because it was on over here.
Tough Enough?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Blast from the past. Tough Enough. I completely forgot of the name.
Yeah. Oh no, and it's like, as I said, I'm no spring chicken. I'm 30 years old. So I've
You're remembering all this, which
I remember.
Which is making me like really old.
Oh
'Cause
no,
you're
no,
remembering
no!
all
Because
this
I
stuff
already, I
now.
feel. I mean, Lord, I feel old
You're an
normally.
Asgardian. What am I talking about?
I
You're
know.
like how many
I'm
years old?
I'm
Thousand?
timeless. I'm
You're
ageless. That's what
timeless.
I am.
You're timeless.
But as my Irish sister, so are you. It's by extension. So the Asgardian part of you is also timeless as well.
I'm about
So
4,500 years younger than Odin, though, guys. So he is definitely the wiser one. He's definitely the wiser one.
oh well, thank you
After
for
his
that.
father Odin as well, which is pretty interesting too.
oh man,
Keep the same name in the family, like, you know.
it all runs in the family, you know.
Yeah.
The family reunions though, those are the best because then the Irish
Yeah.
side comes over, the Asgardian side comes over, the American side comes over, and it's a party. You know, it's almost like
last,
90s age
wow.
WWE. To be honest,
Yeah.
it's ready to rumble.
The good thing about the parties is that they last at least 7,000 years as well. So, like a birthday, like when it's Odin's birthday, although it might seem he's been away for 7 hours, he's actually away for 7,000 years, like celebrating up in Asgard. So, people think we're joking, but we're actually being serious. That's
I know.
That's the weird thing.
Yeah, and I'm reading the chat right now, and you just have no idea. Seriously, you have no idea. Odin's family is worldwide, says Peabody. That is a true statement. Absolutely. And also, Spartan Jeremy has a question, and it's one that I never thought of. I'm going to guess. So he's asking, before you answer, he's asking if you're from Northern Ireland or the Republic. I'm going to say Republic.
Well, you see, this is the thing, right?
Okay.
And it can get really political, right? And I don't want to offend anyone in the chat.
No, go right ahead.
I don't know whether to say this or not.
Go right ahead.
Because I don't want to lose subscribers.
If you feel comfortable saying it, then you can go right ahead saying it.
Well, right, okay, right. To me, Ireland is Ireland, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's Ireland, right? But to some people, and I'm not going to disagree with anyone, I'm just saying this is how I see it. Some people think, oh, well, some parts is classed as United Kingdom and some parts are classed as Ireland. But to me, Ireland's Ireland. You know, when someone goes to me, where are you from? I say Ireland. Do you know what I mean? So some people sort of separate the two parts of Ireland. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Like you've got the north of Ireland, you've got the south of Ireland, but people from the north of Ireland would sort of say, but you're from the United Kingdom. But to me, Ireland is Ireland. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely.
So when people sort of ask that question, you're sort of wondering I don't know what way to sort of take the question, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. It's probably not mean anything by it, but to me, I just see myself as Irish and I live in Ireland. And and I don't it gets really political, honestly, if it's so difficult to explain.
Well, I mean, a lot of people don't know just the stuff that happened, especially it was big during the 80s or 90s where there was a lot of, the terrorism and just really rough times.
It's just, I don't think it'll ever end, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm the type of person that I just want to get in my bed in the morning and go to bed at night, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And try and behave myself instead of trouble. But there's people they just want to try and ruin it over here. And, they're always just wanting to fight over disagreements and stuff. Mm-hmm. And, it's just can everybody not just be friends and be, happy and just enjoy life, and I think, that it is sad, that, if you're not a certain sort of type, and I don't mean to want to get too political, but if you're not a certain type of religion or whatever, mm-hmm. then certain people in this country will literally not want to have anything to do with you. They just be like, oh no.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you bring that up because, yeah. Go ahead.
No, that's me. Sorry.
Oh, okay. No, because what I was going to say is, as I teach theology, and so, it's part of my job to kind of have some knowledge of, history, especially in the United States. And it's interesting that you bring that up because it seems to me that what used to be in place in Louisiana, what used to be the place in the United States was that literally Protestants and Catholics were separate. They did not go to the same schools. They did not hang out with each other. There was a separation that existed. And then once Vatican II really came around and there started to be works towards ecumenism and to, trying to reach out and have discourse and everything, that kind of went away. Like, for example, my Catholic school, you know, maybe 30 years ago, there would not be any non-Catholic person at that school. Now, a good 40%, if not more, of the school is Protestant or some other religion.
Yeah,
and
I would agree,
and
because that's what it was like when I was in school too. There was, you know, you wouldn't have seen even, 30, 70%, you know, and it shouldn't be like that. Like, why not just let people live their lives? Like, it's just weird to me.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I never understand it.
And so it sounds like, and I was just trying to confirm, it sounds like, so that division is still very prominent, you would say, within Ireland?
Yeah, I mean, it's not as bad as back in the day, but it is still very much ongoing, and some people can be quite sort of bitter, and I'm not like that at all. I'm in no way a bitter person. I love everybody as long as they're not, being horrible to me or doing something, so traumatizing to affect my life. I like everyone, but at the same time, there's people that I just cannot understand how they're just so bitter just because you don't have the same religion or you don't have the same belief as them, and they just want to try and destroy everything. You're just kind of like, let's move on. We're going to have to move on at some stage. And unfortunately, I don't think that is going to happen here, sadly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah. Because, I mean, and really is, as I mentioned, I've been just even once in my life, and that one experience was enough for me to want to go back because, I mean, as it's as sad to hear that that's still going on. I also just know that there is also just so much love still also among the people. You're a great example of that very fact by your attitude, by the way that you're looking at it, by the way that you live your life. But I remember just being there and even just going to, and this is going to be, this might sound odd, from, and probably typical of an American, but at one point we went into McDonald's, and even just that experience was a cultural shock because the people behind the counter were just so caring and took their job very seriously and were kind, and it was just that kindness was everywhere. And when we go out into the country, we got lost one time, and there were a bunch of people in the country who have some of the thickest accents in the world, as I'm sure that you probably could attest to, and even they were like trying to help us. And it's just, there's such a community aspect to it. So it's interesting how there is this really huge cultural part of it that I was able to experience of love and positivity, but at the same time too, there's another side that a lot of people sometimes don't get to see. And so thank you for kind of sharing a little bit of your own personal experience with all of it,
No, it's not a problem. Like, I saw someone as well that was asking like where exactly is she from or whatever, but I don't know, like, I'm sure some people may or may not have heard it on the news a few times, but there's a place called Belfast. And basically, like, I would live about 20 or 30-minute drive from there. I'm not saying all of it's bad. Yeah. I'm not saying that. But what I will say is it's not the most safest place. Like, I'm so sorry if I offend anyone by saying that. But, like, there's certain parts that are and there's certain parts that aren't. It's like anywhere, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure there's places in America that you would say to me, Julie, don't go there,
my own city, New Orleans.
There, you know what I mean?
New Orleans is a fine place maybe to visit once. And you have to be very careful where you go because there's a good chance you'll get mugged or shot or worse. And so, yeah, absolutely. I can totally understand and speak from where you're coming from right now.
I don't want to say exactly where I live. Like,
no, and I totally, yes.
Obvious reasons,
For obvious reasons, absolutely. And as someone who has done this for a little bit, you definitely want to hold on to that kind of stuff.
I am your sister, you're pretty famous, so people are going to be like, oh, I'm going to go to his sister's house.
Yeah, and you're going to keep on, like, your channel is going to keep on growing too, because again, just you have that personality that's going to just draw people in naturally. And so what you're going to eventually do is get a PO box or have people want to send you stuff. And I would recommend highly, if that ever, when that happens, get a PO box for sure. Because
what do you need? Like, I know it's going to sound really weird, but like, to have a PO box, right? And I'm not like trying to say like I wouldn't spend the money to do it, but is it not crazy expensive, like, per month to have a PO box? Because I literally know nothing about PO boxes. I am so confused.
It depends. It really does. It depends on how long you want to have it for and the rates where you live. the price will vary. Basically, like you don't get it just for the sake of getting it. You get it when you get to a point where you can afford to, like, so with monetization and live streams and everything, they'll get to a point where there's certain things you'll be able to start to do and just to, you know, add to the channel essentially. Like, for example, I was able to get to a point where I was able to invest in various aspects to try increase the quality of the video, of the content, of various other things. And, you know, you do that slowly over time. And then eventually there were people who were saying, I want to send you stuff. And so I made the mistake, and this is no shout to any of the people that have this information, but I was kind of in my naivety. I was just like, you want to send me something? Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, here's my address.
No way. You didn't give them your actual address.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And so, of course, my wife, Freya, is just like, honey, what in the hell are you thinking? And so as soon as I could get to the point where I could get a P.O. box, I got a P.O. box. And so there are people in the chat right now who have that information. And, you know, I trust them because they've been around for a long time. And I didn't just give it to anyone. Luckily, I did give it to people that I would actually have conversations with, you know, over a long period of time. Because when I was very small, I was on my Discord all the time, and we would talk for like hours and hours and hours. Like, you can talk to people like, you know, Frank and Peabody, who've been around for a long time. But I still also look back on it, and I'm like, I never should have done that, because I trust them, but they'll understand. Like, yeah, you not the best idea to.
That is hilarious that you actually done that.
Oh yeah, oh yes. And so let's just say if I ever move, that will remain a secret for sure. So I totally respect where you're coming from with not wanting to.
Imagine if you had someone just like knock on your door at like 3 a.m. Oh my gosh, are you that guy from YouTube? I got you like a Star Wars figurine. Here you go.
I got you. Okay. I got you the stuff. I got you the stuff. Can I be on a live stream? Can I? Because, you know, there are people out there like that. There are people out there like that. They're gonna be like, I need to know. That's why Celebration, because I'm going to Star Wars Celebration this year, and it's gonna be interesting because it'll be people who are not just, you know, for me, I might say fans every now and then, or subscribers, but to me it's like, you know, it's my Asgardian family that I like to try and think of it as. But I just know that there's going to be some people that I can't wait to meet, for example, who I've been, you know, waiting to meet for a long time, and we're going to click very instantly and it's going to be great. But then there's others where it's like, I'm sure there's going to be someone that maybe has never been active in the chat who is like, oh my God, you're Odin. Oh my God, I watch all of your stuff. And it's going to be like, yeah, and you're making me uncomfortable, and I don't know how to feel right now. And I'm sure, because I have social anxiety, so it's going to be, you know, I'm glad that I'll be there with people that I do know and talk to, for example, Jeremy and others. Like, I'm kind of like, be like, I'm going to hang on to you for a bit because,
yes. That's what I was going to say. Like, if anybody is like that, just go, oh sorry, just hold on a minute, I just have to go somewhere, I have somewhere to be. And then like Jeremy, just be like, hi. Just leave it up to Jeremy will sort it out.
Oh yeah, for sure. All right, so I got a few more super chats and a couple of comments in the chat that I want to get to, and then we can just wrap things up, because my parents are actually going to come by in a few minutes to because they went to France over their Mardi Gras break, and
lovely.
They apparently got some stuff, and also my dad finally got the car he always wanted his entire life, and so they're going to show that off to me as well. And so yeah, anyway, but Mr. Peabody connects with you, Julie, because he says, same here, I am Australian, but do not distinguish but I do distinguish, rather, he says, I do distinguish being Western Australian because everyone else is on the other side of the country. They are different. Okay, so he's the opposite. So he identifies as Western Australian, and the reason why is because the other people are different. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
Sticky V, bitterness passed on from parent to child is the root of this. Yeah, absolutely, Sticky V. And that's, you know, Ireland, United States, everywhere. You know, violence begets violence is how the expression often goes. And it's true. No one is born evil. No one is born violent. No one is born, you know, in any capacity. Basically, you have when a child is born, it's literally pure potentiality. 100% potentiality, and that potentiality can be crafted in so many ways by so many factors, and it's absolutely true. That's why if we don't start to change, then the change is never going to happen, and it starts with us, and you know, our kids, and how we raise and how we treat. And I try and instill that in my guys at school, but unfortunately, I can't, you know, some of them are being raised in a...
It's 100%, like, I put it down to the parents.
Mm-hmm.
I know it sounds awful, but then again, the parents were brought up a particular way too. So, you know, I always sort of like understand that. And when you see sort of kids over here like doing things you shouldn't be doing, you say to yourself, but what parents do they have? What way are they being raised, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And also, and I just noticed this, Peabody wanted to point out saying that you have a lion looking over your shoulder.
I do,
With the way the image looks, because I have it on a freeze frame up here, because I have the live chat here, I have the chat where I am on the other side, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, look at that, she does have a lion looking over her. For protection.
Someone thought I painted it. Yeah, someone thought I painted it. On one of my videos, they're like, oh my gosh, you're so cool, and you're cooler if you painted that. And I'm like, if I could paint like that, I would be a millionaire. I would be selling those on Amazon.
Absolutely. Soul Assassin says, Odin, what does shipping cost in Asgard? I don't charge a thing. Can't say much about the US government, though. It's free in Asgard, but to get here, it's going to take a little bit. Keith Howard says, Odin, I enjoyed the live stream today. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. I've enjoyed it as well. It's been awesome having Julie on. And once again, if you have not subbed to her, please go over, give her some support, watch her videos. Let's get her watch hours up so that way she can get to that monetization level. Let's see. Frank says, don't worry, Odin. We will protect you, my friend. Awesome. I expect all 26 wiener dogs to be brought with you, Adam. I'm holding you to that. Could you imagine me with my posse of 26 wiener dogs? That would be amazing. Let's see. Peabody says, Odin, just like Greta, social anxiety, yet you are both actors. Yeah, that's true. I have social anxiety, and yet I have a YouTube channel, and yet I'm comfortable speaking in front of a camera and everything like that. But it really is, it's situational. So for me, one of my worst fears is going to a party or to an event where I don't know anybody. That terrifies me. If I know somebody, I'm usually okay. But yeah, that's where I stand on that. All right, so let's see. Super chats and people. William Gray, welcome to the channel. Andy Hackstrom, welcome to the channel. Stephen Glasker, thank you for the super chat. Says, subscribe to Julie. I do what Odin tells me. All right, Stephen. If that is true, then watch every single one of her videos to get those watch hours up. Appreciate it, Stephen. I appreciate your dedication.
Tell him to give you $1 million.
Give me all your money. Give me your money. Let's see. Demanjanai, thank you for the super chat. Says, yes, Julie is awesome. I've been subbed. Oh, okay. Been subbed for a while, sounds like. Her accent is awesome. Also, I've signed the Alita Part 2 petition. Also, streaming on Saturday is in full go. Awesome, Demanjanai. Please keep me posted on that. Would love to support your channel. Because Demanjanai is another up-and-coming YouTuber who's going to start streaming. So let me know, Demanjanai, and I will help you out with that. Pico's Reviews, welcome to the channel. And Lycan645, thank you for the super chat, says, hi, Odin and Julie. Bully Jeremy to bring Julie on the High Council. Hey, I'm totally going to do that, for sure. I'm going to...
Bully Jeremy?
Yes, absolutely. I'm going to bully, because Jeremy's the one... Everyone's so funny, like, they'll talk to me and be like, hey, so I mentioned this to my... I mentioned this to my Valkyrie, that there was someone on Twitter who was direct messaging me, and he was trying to get me to send a message to Ethan Van Sciver. And the first thing I thought was, you believe that me and Ethan talk on a daily basis. We don't. Ethan is like another world to me. I'm like, oh my God, it's Ethan Van Sciver. He's like the moon to me. And so it's funny that he thought that I was like best friends with Ethan Van Sciver and that I could just, send him all the information. But then also he wanted me to send what was in the document was him trying to get EVS to help him sell a house. And I was like,
oh my gosh, that's so random. What?
I know. And that's something you also have to be careful with on Twitter. I'm sure you've experienced it yourself, is that there are some people who are awesome and just want to reach out to you and everything. But there are others where it's like, yeah, I don't want to talk to you because...
I got asked my address.
Ooh, yeah.
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 And then because I didn't give it, they were sending me like all these like gifts, like crying and saying like, Julie got offended, like, why can't you tell me where you live? And they were sending me messages like, can I have your address and things? You're just like, I don't think so. I don't think that's gonna work.
It's like, no, I'm not gonna do that. Thanks, but maybe in a little bit when I have a PO box, maybe, I don't know.
They'd be standing at my PO box like, I've been here for 6 days.
I've been waiting for 6 days. I have been holding this package ransom for 5 years. I have very low blood sugar. Just like one of those.
Oh my gosh.
Absolute. But anyway, thanks. That's it for the super chats. And Carre. I don't know how to pronounce it, but thank you for joining the channel as well. So we're almost at time. Julie, are there any things that you want to say to these beautiful people? Is there anything that you want to bring up? Anything at all?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you so much for everybody's kindness. This was my first ever live. So I really apologize if I wasn't like able to like read the chat and everything, but I've just been like so nervous. And also massive thanks to Odin, because believe it or not, guys, I didn't even have everything downloaded that I needed to even do a live stream. So Odin's been helping me throughout all today to download Google Chrome to get everything sorted out for this. So you know, he really is a really down-to-earth and genuine person, you know, and I now see him as what I would call a friend. So I really am so thankful. And, you know, all of your subscribers, you know, clearly seem like really lovely, genuine, down-to-earth people. You're crazy yourself, so hopefully people will know what they're getting coming over to, you know, your sister's channel. It's going to be a bit of craziness as well. So, you know, if you're not in for a bit of randomness, then my channel might not be for you. But if you have subscribed, thank you so much. A couple of people were asking if I have Twitter. I do have Twitter. My Twitter is WishedUpon AVlog 87. If anybody doesn't like Brie Larson, I have a poll going at the minute that I'd be very interested to see.
I voted in that poll, and
what did you vote?
I will keep that to myself. And I will tell you this much: it was not Brie Larson. I will say that.
Because there is 8% or something up, I think, maybe more than that. So it better not have been you.
Yeah, no, that was not me. I did not. It was not me. It was the one-armed man.
You're lying. He's done it for a joke. He's done it for a joke, guys. But basically, if you want to do a poll on Twitter, I'd be interested to see people's answers. It's basically what looks better. The first option is Brie Larson. If you put that, what is wrong with you? The second one was an orc from the Lord of the Rings or a bag of poo. So if you go on to my Twitter, WishedUpon AVlog 87, you can join in on the poll, which will end probably tomorrow. And let's see what the answer is.
Also, Brad Noble wanted to say that you have a very nice Southern accent.
Thank you very much.
Yes, totally a New Orleanian accent. No question or doubt about it. But seriously, and you know, as you're pulling up the results, I want to thank you for joining me on this stream. Seriously, you have done an excellent job. I don't think anyone would have thought this was your first live stream, because you did wonderful, and you've also hopefully gained some subscribers. Hopefully you'll get that, you know, that view count and that time count up as well. And also, just so you know, I am definitely going to be, because the way I do this is I make the live streams unlisted. So you'll still have the link, and so you can share it with whoever it is you want to share it with. So that way they can see the live stream. And I also upload it onto my other channel, Welcome to Asgard. So it'll be uploaded in full there. And I'll send you the link once that's up. And also, I post these as podcasts now. And so I'll give you the link to that too. So that way you can listen to it or have your friends listen to it or whatever you want to do with it will be available for you. So, yeah. And you were awesome. And also, guys, maybe not have known that not only is this her first live stream, also she didn't know about this live stream until like today, because I was like, "This is St. Patrick's Day. I have to like," and we were already going back and forth on Twitter anyway, with talking about stuff, and I was like, "I need to have her on a live stream, and it's the perfect day for it." And so thank you again for doing this at short notice, and also for being awesome in the process.
No, the pleasure's all mine, honestly. I had picked up my phone and I had saw the message. It's like, hey, do you want to like do a live stream with me today? And I was like, oh, that would be so cool. I have literally never did a live stream before. And the fact that you asked me was, you know, really, really, really cool. And I can notice that there's so many people in the chat that are saying happy St. Patrick's Day to us. Happy St. Patrick's Day. And your dog is, everybody, that was Odin's dog saying happy St. Patrick's Day.
And that my parents are probably here right now. So
yes, so I'm not going to keep you any longer, and tell your parents I said hello.
I will. And also everyone, of course, because, you know, they'll know you because, yeah, you know, brother, sister. So, yeah. I'll tell mom and dad. I'll tell mom and dad they say hi.
Tell mom and dad. Tell mom and dad why
the Irish daughter they never knew they had says hi.
Go and tell them they need to wish me a happy St. Patrick's Day. Like, that's a disgrace. Mom and dad didn't even ring me.
Absolutely.
What did I do in life? What did I went wrong?
Absolutely. All right. The dogs are going crazy. But seriously, go and support Julie. She is awesome. Thank you again for joining me on the stream. And everyone else, thank you for joining us tonight as the dogs continue to go crazy. But also, Julie, I'm going to be sending this link to Jeremy because I think that he honestly would be looking into your content. So I'll keep you posted on that.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Your poor dog's like wanting to answer the door.
I know. They're like, oh my God, we're being visited by people. Anyway, so thank you. So they're finally seeing them because my wife saw them, so she was able to let the dogs out. But guys, you are all amazing people. Seriously, thank you for watching and supporting this live stream. Please drop a like before you leave. Also, please, again, give a subscribe over to Julie's channel. And also go follow her on Twitter. I know that Frank posted the Twitter in the chat, so please go ahead and do so. And again, guys, she, as much as she will love all of your support, all of your subscriptions, please try and watch her videos too, because that's the next big milestone, is getting to that watcher rating. You know, getting those 4,000 watch hours. Do you know how many you're at by any chance, off the top of your head?
I think it's like 100 and something thousand minutes. Is that correct?
1,000 minutes.
Does that sound right?
So for mine, it's broken into hours. So either way, we have work to do, and I expect you all to work. And before I forget, because I'm sure everyone's going to be like, oh my God, you're forgetting. I got to give a shout out to my patrons, because if you are a patron of mine, you get a shout out every single live stream. So a huge shout out to A Grey Jedi, Adam Shawhan, Albertus Magnus, Aman, Yosef, Marcos, Delete System 32, Dion, gotcha, buddy, covered you, Edward Coleman, Enrique Evangelista, Entertainment Hacker, Frank and the Shawhan Wiener Dog Clan, Harold Francis, the Hunka Chunka, Funka Monkey, Inflamed Wood, Intertrap Productions, Jason Clark, Jeffrey Toon, Jonathan Jerembeck, Laura Story, Matthew Cadish, Mr. Peabody, and his evil twin. Guess the evil twin lives over on the other side of Australia, now that I know a little bit more about Australia. Outpost Dyer, Perpetual Punster, Prodestar Sharif, Proper Jeremy, Randall J. Hoover, Shenglong, Sir Lance Elato, Theodora, the K-Man, the DJD Show, those two ball guys, Tina B, and Wolfgang Lange. Thank you for my patrons. Julie, thank you once again for joining me. Guys, go check out her channel. Give her some love. Give her some support. We had a hell of a lot of fun today. Thank you again for joining me, Julie. And, yeah. Have a happy and wonderful and blessed St. Patrick's Day, everyone.
You too. And thanks very much for making my stomach in stitches laughing.
I'm glad to hear it. And as always, everyone, God bless.